Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled A Time to Harvest. It was written by Brian Sammons, Charles P. Zaglanis, Glenn Owen Barras, and Mike Mason, and it's available on the Chaosium website. Jeff Wilkins is our game master, and this is Chapter 2, Episode 5. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Jeff?
Thanks, Sam. First, can I just say real quick, thanks to everybody who's watching for sticking with us. For some reason, it's not planned. We've gotten on this every 2-week schedule. Life events, holidays. I was sick last week, so we're not doing it intentionally. We hope to get back to the 1 week. So thanks for that. So brief recap from last episode. You guys focused mostly on investigating the science annex. The other half of the group of students who were going there, you found some interesting topics or subjects on that strange rock substance that Rod / Jasper have.
Right.
There was some strange information revealed. You guys were like hiding in the closet and everything like that. Danny caused the commotions with a fake fire alarm. There was a little bit of not confusion, but it seemed as though the other students were possibly misleading the professor because they were saying stuff about it being extraterrestrial and that it was found in a meteor crater, whereas the specimen that you guys found, you know for a fact that that was not the case. So something's not jiving up. You don't quite know why or what, but you just know it's like a little bit of a red flag, like what? It doesn't make sense. We kind of we're playing a little bit fast and loose with the dates, so don't be too concerned about that. I'm kind of, this is all a bit of a blur over the course of several days. And then I guess towards the end of the episode, the big sort of cliffhanger was that Danny got a note slid under his door that said something loosely to the effect of, be careful, there's danger lurking around every corner, but that you have a friend, but it was not signed, so you're not sure who that was from. And then the last piece of information came as a late night phone call to Jasper, where it was Rod, who rather quickly and abruptly scheduled some sort of a meeting where he wanted he wanted Jasper to show up alone to go to the old cemetery up on Hangman's Hill. And that's pretty much where we left it. So that said, this was a thought I had the other day, and I'll throw it out there if you guys want to think about this real quick or not. I was just curious, like, part of the thing that makes these games fun to me is character development. And I just happened to realize, you guys have been through quite a bit, to say the least. You've seen strange
weird
things,
stuff, yeah.
Heard, experienced a lot of stuff. I'm just curious, have you guys thought about, like, from, what was it, been not even a month ago, before all this started, you guys were your average everyday college student. I'm curious, like, has anything changed as far as character motivation? Like, what are you guys finding, like, is school less important to you right now? Are you determined to find information to get to the bottom of all this? I was just curious if you guys gave any thought to, like, possible motivational or character changes at all. And you could say no.
Well, Jerry's gone from being an barely armchair occultist, probably more like lazy couch occultist, to being absolutely convinced that there's something in these secret doctrines and strange books, and he is basically entirely obsessed with eventually making contact with some part of it that he can understand. So it seems like a strong change of motive.
Mm.
I think Tug has become a moth to a flame. In the beginning, he was very much concerned with his physical working out every day and following a routine. And the school was the academic stuff was hard for him. But as it's come along, he suddenly is open to this extremely exciting world. It's terrifying, but all he wants to know now is what the hell's going on. And I think he's completely forgotten about school. It'll sneak up on him. When school starts, it'll have snuck up on him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I just wanted to go to football games and wave a pennant and have some fun. I didn't want to be terrified and have to shoot someone. I think that's still, for Jasper at least, it's still sort of floating around in the background, that he's still dealing with what he had to do. And I don't think that, I mean, he kind of did it and he knew he was doing the right thing, but as time's going on, he's realizing that he was actually nowhere near as mature as he thought he was, and he's having a very difficult time processing what he did.
Mm.
And I think possibly hoping that it was all just like some sort of strange nightmare.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of denial at the moment.
And just to be clear to anybody who's listening, we're talking about what happened with John Jeffries.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think for Danny, he has always been quite a good student, fairly intelligent, quite a sharp guy, but his ambition has always been to be an adventurer of some kind. His heroes are Hiram Bingham III, who discovered about 1912 or so Machu Picchu, and he's always wanted to go out there and kind of on physical adventures, you know. So that has been his motivation more than academic. But since he shot the demons, it's like this whole new reality of the physical monsters that actually exist. So I think that's similar to Jerry, but different in that he's not seeking esoteric knowledge. He's just seeking reality now. What's real out there? There's something real. And so that's really been a kind of worldview or paradigm shift thing that's going on in his head, and he's trying to get to grips with that. But equally, I think the terror of the event, he's got this kind of desperation to destroy whatever this conspiracy is. He's still convinced that the night that they were at the cabin and people were disappearing into the air, they were told by the other students that it was all a gag, but he doesn't know what happened, but he knows it was something other. Yeah. I'm
also thinking that we've all grown really close.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
We were just moderate friends in the beginning, but now I trust you guys. I don't trust anybody else in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. How about the fact we touched on it briefly, where it was sort of, you know, people are acting weird around you on campus and whispers, and, you know, there's some rumors starting to spread. Is there anything, how are you guys dealing with that, or are you not dealing with it yet? Like, is it just sort of, that's not your concern right now?
Well, for me, I thought it was a popularity thing, that we'd really fucked up. But the more we interact with these people, it definitely feels like they're trying very hard to pretend that they're people that we know. You know what I mean? They're not getting details right when we're asking questions. They're not acting
Jerry's
before.
Yeah, Jerry's convinced they're possessed or influenced by something alien or otherworldly. He was always such a loner that it's not bothering him, even if other students beyond them have some issue with us. Probably Jerry even appreciates being seen as like a bit of a transgressor. It's what's weirder to Jerry is like having these guys as like close friends who he trusts, sort of in spite of himself.
Cool. All right, good. All right, so let's jump back in then. So you got this sort of late night, little bit of a panic to his voice phone call about this strange meetup at the cemetery. Jasper, I think you were about to ready the troops.
Are we all together in the same place now?
We'll just start with Jasper basically hung up the telephone, and then we'll just go from there.
Right. So I'm going to. Well, I think my first thought would be to bang on the doors of Tug and Danny, whichever one is physically closest to the telephone, and just hammer on the door. Really, not even sort of subtly knocking, but just hammer on the door. Let's say it's Tug.
Okay. Hold on. The hell.
What the hell are you doing in there? Tug by name, Tug by nature. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Come on, open up.
I open up the door. I was like, what the hell? What's going on?
Let me in quick. Look, something's happened. Look, someone just knocked on my door, and there was a phone call waiting for me, and there was someone on the other end of the phone. I've no idea who, but they said to come on my own to hang
Sorry, minor correction.
Say who it was, didn't
you do know it was Rod? Yes.
It was Rod. Sorry. Okay. Rod phoned up and wants me to come to Hangman's Hill in the middle of the night on my own. I mean, does that sound crazy or what?
He found some article which he was upset about. Now he wants to talk to you in the middle of the night. And we think that he's possessed by something. I don't know, dude. I'll go with you, but do you want me to go with you, or do you want me to hide in the shadows as we go?
I honestly don't know what to do.
Well,
I just know that I don't. If I'm going to go, I don't want to go up there on my own. But then I'm at the same time, I'm sort of worried that something might be properly wrong. That he might be in danger. And
well, hold on. And I start stripping down, and I switch to my black clothes. I've got some black clothes. I said I can wear this. And that way he won't see me until you want me to. If he tries anything, I'll jump out of the shadows. I don't have any weapons. I got a switchblade.
Well, don't start. We can't go around stabbing people.
Well, it depends on if he pulls a gun on you or something, dude.
Well, I know. I mean, I don't know what to do. Surely he hasn't got a gun, though, has he? He's just like a...
What if he's not who he think that he is?
I think we should get the others.
Let's get Danny. Well, go down the hall and go get Danny. Bring him back here, and I'll call Jerry.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, the more of us, the better.
Right.
Jerry. If something happens, then people will know that something happened to me.
Yeah. All right, Jerry, get over here.
I'm going to go down the hall and a little bit more restrained with the banging this time because I've calmed down a tiny.
Well, as you go down, Danny's standing with an open door. He's like, "Oh,
hello, Tug."
Hey, Jerry, come over to my place where we've got a mission tonight.
What's going on?
I'll tell you when you get here.
All right.
Come alone.
So Danny's standing with his note that he's and kind of comes to a bit as you start to say, oh, there's something on. And I've just got a note from somebody that says to watch myself, watch my back, be careful. I might be in danger, but no, I don't know who put it through the door.
Oh, that's kind of weird because I've just got a phone call from Rod, and he wants me to come to Hangman's Hill, of all places.
Hangman's Hill?
In the middle of the night on my own.
Gee. Well, I don't know what's going on, Jasper, but I mean, it sounds like this person's trying to protect me.
Well,
I'm going to get my gun. If we're going up to Hangman's Hill, I'm getting my gun.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I mean, normally I don't think I'd be in favour of that, but tonight I think we're really going to need it. This seems. I mean, if this was a movie, this would definitely be the bit where I'd be walking into a trap.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And why would people do that in real life? I don't want to walk into a trap. I mean, oh hell, I don't know what to do now.
Right,
but he might really be in trouble.
And it's Rod, did you say?
Yeah.
Rod.
I don't like this. Look, hold on a second. I'm going to get my gun. And I go and get the gun, and I get some extra bullets, and I get I guess this is nighttime, right? This is late on. Yeah. So I get my heaviest overcoat, because it's probably going to be cold if we're out there, and because it's a dark coat as well. Just thinking about similar to Tug hiding in the shadows. So
I haven't got any weapons, so I'm just going to get a pair of nice strong woolen socks, and I'm going to put all of my loose change that I keep in my jar in my room. I'm going to put it in the sock and tie a knot in it and just keep that in my pocket.
Yeah, that'll work really good. I got some quarters here.
Cool. All right.
So Jerry, more hastily than Jerry usually does things, but still methodically enough not to forget to bring them, changes into dark clothes, gets a couple of, I'm sure he has multiple knives, picks up two, grabs whatever he thinks are decent protective talismans that he's actually proud of rather than that he is sure he got wrong. And, of course, the lucky jar of peaches, which means he needs a coat with a big enough pocket for the lucky jar of peaches, and then drives over there. It probably normally takes me 30 minutes to get to campus. So...
Yeah, but there's no traffic
if I hurry.
Tonight, so.
That's right. So maybe I could cut that in half even. So, maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, Jerry shows up.
Yep, sure. You're driving, right, or you're gonna walk?
Yeah, I drive over. I park, wherever's closest to Chuck's place. Walk up there. So.
Yep.
Now, while we're waiting for Jerry, I said to the others, something I actually was thinking about a little while ago. When we were hiding in the classroom, did you guys get the impression that, remember they were saying that it was an extraterrestrial rock? But we didn't find it in a crater.
Did you guys say that you found it? Was it in the burial mound, or was it near the original dig?
Well, it was near the original place where when we first got there, we found it within an hour. But it was nowhere near any kind of crater. And I was just thinking, it just suddenly dawned on me that we think the students over there have been taken over, like Jerry said.
Mm-hmm.
What if they're lying?
Well, I know the professor because I've done some of his classes. He did the introduction to geology class that I did, and another one. I can talk to him tomorrow if we survive this night.
I'm just thinking, why would they do that? If they're lying, why would they lie? Unless if we went there to do geological surveys for a company like the oil company people, they wouldn't be interested if it was just a meteorite, because there wouldn't be very much of it. But if it was a vein of ore in the ground, they would be extremely interested. What if the other students don't want them to think that it's a vein of ore? They want them to think it's a meteorite. Then they'll just leave it alone.
But then
I'll just say for the sake of time that Jerry shows up in the middle of your conversation.
Okay.
But then what do they want it for?
I think that let's give a name to them. The changelings, shall we? Because we think that they've changed, that the changelings don't want any more investigation into the ore. That's why they've made it into a meteorite, because then, it's just a curiosity if it's a meteorite.
Jasper, did Rod
Hello.
Hello, Jerry.
I hope you brought your peaches.
Of course.
I think...
Does that mean I'll need to be lucky?
I think you might need a weapon.
Well, I brought 2 knives. What kind of mission was Tug talking about?
We tell you all about what we're going to do.
It's Rod,
Rod.
Dodgy.
Well, if you had said more on the phone, I'd have a shotgun as well as 2 knives. Or at least a decent rifle.
So how you realize, how are we going to do this? Did he tell you, Jasper, to come alone? So we can't.
He told me to come alone, but I'm not doing that.
I'm going to hide in the bushes.
Well, look, 4 of us can't walk up there together, but I'm sure I can put myself in a good place. How soon are you planning to go meet him?
I can't remember.
Guys, what is it?
Did you say half an hour?
Half an hour at the phone call, and time's actually ticking.
We better go.
Quite fast.
We need to go.
Jeff, do I have time to drive myself back home and then also still get to Hangman's Hill? Or within...
It took you 15 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably, well, you certainly could do that, but you definitely are...
I don't know where Hangman's Hill is in relation to my house, to where I live in the campus. That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I think basically you would realize, you would do the quick math in your head that if you were to do that, you would arrive after the meeting. I think it was 11:15. You would arrive after the time period.
Well, I don't have time to go home and get better equipped.
No,
but I'll come up from the other side to you, Doug. At least then we won't all be approaching from the same direction.
And Hangman's Hill sounds like it's not a place you drive up on top of. It's you park at the bottom and you walk up the hill.
Yes. Are we planning to drive?
Well, where is it? We got to be there in 15 minutes. And do we know anything about Hangman's Hill?
Yeah.
I mean, other than they hung people there?
Yeah, it's a bad place.
Hold that thought. So let me just show you real quick on the map. So here's the campus university. Here's your right here. Sorry, I think that's
right. That's our dorm. Yeah.
This is Hangman Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
And that whole sort of this general area right here is considered Hangman's Hill. It's actually called the Old Wooded Cemetery, but it's on Hangman's Hill.
Okay.
So it's really only like a block and a half, 2 blocks away.
Okay.
You could easily walk it or drive it if you're concerned about time. It's up to you.
Well, let's just walk it then.
Yeah, if Jasper goes ahead, we can follow up, and I'm getting the gun out. Let me tell you about Hangman's Hill, guys.
At least
You
one
don't
of
know
us
the
has a
story.
firearm.
I just hope that the guy doesn't just shoot Jasper for some reason.
You
Hangman.
know I can hear you say this, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's a real possibility.
Yeah,
Do you realise they hung a witch up here in Hangman's Hill?
What's that?
hang.
Goody Fowler was hanged up in the hill here.
Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, back in the day, 200 years ago or so.
Look, Jasper, I don't think the peaches would do you any good, but this might. I fish around in my pocket, pull out a folded up piece of paper and hand it to Jasper.
Can it stop bullets?
Might miss. Look, don't waste time looking at it. It won't make any sense to you anyway. Just stick it in your pocket and forget about it.
But is it my last will and testament?
No, nothing
So
like that.
what am I going to do with this stone? I think this is what he wants.
But you're certainly not going to take it with you.
But if he,
Well,
maybe
why-
the whole
why
trick
don't-
is to get him out of the. Here, give it to me. I'll go put it in my room. I'll hide it under the bed or something.
Maybe you don't want it. Maybe
I
you don't
think-
want it where anyone knows you live on campus. Look, why don't you?
I think you should bring it. There's something about it.
Something about it. Yeah, there's something about it that I want, or at least don't want us to have.
I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it in my pocket, and while we're walking along, I'm going to keep an eye out for any sort of dark pebble that's roughly the same sort of shape, and I'll just stop every now and then and pick something up and give it a feel and then put it back down until I find something that feels roughly the same in my hand. And
They might be able to sense it somehow.
it's worth a try. I mean, it's dark, so
Might not
it
see
might
that.
work. It might stop me getting killed.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, it's a better idea than.
At this point.
So I guess we're talking as we're going over. Yeah, we're heading over.
We've got to go. Yeah.
And
I'm
as we're
assuming
heading,
you've already started walking.
yeah,
Well, listen. Are you sure you want to take it? I won't be of any use to you myself, but I can at least drive the stone away. I can take it home. I can drive it home in my car. At least then it won't be here. Of course, neither will I.
I don't know, guys, but you better be
I'm
ready.
every bit as worried that if I go there and I haven't got it with me, that he might turn nasty.
That makes very little sense, Jasper. Look, give me the stone. I'll get back in my car. I'll drive toward the hill. I'll park some distance away. I can always drive the stone away, or I can join you. Probably they won't be prepared to search my car for it.
Well, there's safety in numbers. Just everybody stick together.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, there's
that's the
safety
best.
in numbers of firearms that I don't have.
But
Next time,
guys,
say what
you
the
don't.
mission is over the phone. It's not like, well,
Guys, I'm trying to tell you something. You don't realise it's supposed to be haunted up here in the hill. You know that?
Those are all those folklore stories.
Just as well, I've got my gun. If I can shoot
Okay.
demons, I can shoot ghosts.
We're safe. I've got my switchblade. I can shave the guy.
But Rod, there's something wrong with Rod, right?
Yeah,
something.
well,
It's all
something
part of
isn't
this
right.
weird.
Right. Jasper, you go up ahead. We'll follow you.
but there's nothing wrong with the length of Rod's hair other than it's short enough to be so proper and conservative. Somehow I don't think shaving it would do us much good. Maybe if we could shave the wires out of his brain.
Let's just go. So by now we probably reached the bottom of the hill.
Well, by this point,
Yeah.
Jerry is shaking his head and he's broken off to take a different approach and get a different vantage. So at some point, maybe if you describe what the approach to the hill looks like, obviously Jerry has some experience with hunting. He's going to try to take a stealthy approach. He still wants to be able to see the others, not be seen himself. But if he needed to rejoin them, be rejoining them without having to backtrack and take the same route up, right? He'd want to be able to join them from a different route.
I assume it's full of gravestones. So there's...
That's a good assumption.
You could hide all of them.
Yeah.
So let me do a little bit of description. So I think it was Danny that said this. You're absolutely correct. It's a chilly night. It is late August, so there's that hint of fall, that little bit of smell in the air that lets you know fall is on its way, and of course, being late at night, it's quite chilly. There's a little bit of a knee-high patchy fog here and there. There's a half moon out, and it's cloudy, so it's kind of, at some points the moonlight gives you enough light to see, at some points it didn't. It gets pretty dark, which brings me to, I didn't hear anybody say it, so I'm going to ask for a luck roll. Did anybody think to bring a flashlight?
Well, if we use a flashlight, they'll see us.
Well, I purposely didn't bring a flashlight, so you don't want me to roll for luck to see if one is in my heavy coat with pockets. I'll still roll luck. But
well, if you said you purposely didn't bring it, then we'll say.
Well, I might have not noticed it was in the coat, so I can still roll.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
So
you got a flashlight for everybody. No, I'm just
look what I got.
Well, it would actually make sense for Jasper to have a flashlight because he was the one who was summoned.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. and I am terrified.
Okay.
And if Jasper's going ahead and we're following him in the light, as he's maybe a little bit ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper, if you shine the light in his eyes when you get up there, he won't be able to see any of us in the dark.
Yeah, I could just dazzle him, couldn't I? If he says, "Oh, what's that over there?" I could say, "What?"
Yeah.
So I don't want to get bogged down as far as where we need a map to try and figure out, with miniatures and try to figure out. But I do kind of want to describe the cemetery a little bit. So it's called Hangman's Hill. So it's on a hill.
Right.
The way I kind of picture this, there's a cemetery not too far from me, and it's right in the middle of town, and it actually is the same thing. It's on a hill, and from the street level, you can't see the gravestones. It's actually like a fairly steep incline. There's a set of steps that are going up, kind of crude, picture railroad ties,
right.
stacked, and maybe they just go up about maybe 10 feet or so, a height difference. Then it sort of levels out a little bit, and then another 10 feet. So it's basically about 20 feet above the street level, and then the cemetery kind of opens up from that point. The section there's a fence around the cemetery, one of those wrought iron fences, the kind that have the little
spikes,
fleur-de-lis. Yes.
Oh,
it's decorative, but at the same time, it's also like a spear point.
Right.
The front section of the cemetery, so that's kind of the main entrance, are those steps going up. But now at the same time, I'm thinking, well, if this is a cemetery, they're going to be bringing caskets up and down, and I don't see it reasonable that people will be carrying caskets up these steps and stuff. So what I was thinking is there will be a side entrance that's more of a long sort of winding ramp that could be, somebody could either carry it up, like a bunch of pallbearers could carry it up that winding path without too much trouble, or even like a horse-drawn carriage sort of thing.
Considering his Byronic interest in aesthetics and a nocturnal disposition, it seems likely to me that Jerry has wandered around in and visited the cemetery before.
I'm sure we've all been there, yeah.
So does that mean that I might be likely to know if there happens to be an easy or easier way to get in there when you're not really supposed to when it's nighttime? Perhaps.
Well, there is that part of it too, in that most cemeteries, they don't usually have a lock and key gate on them, but usually 9 times out of 10 there's a little sign out front that says cemetery closed after dark.
Yeah.
So there's also, on top of all this, there's that little bit of, you guys are not supposed to be here, and you could get in trouble if you get caught. So that's just another added little, maybe the authorities are driving by. You don't want to draw too much attention to yourself if you're out waving a flashlight around.
So I guess I'll say that if Jerry does know such a way or is familiar with it, even if he has to veer a little bit differently from the most tactical approach, he might try to take advantage of his knowledge of the place, even if it takes him a little longer to get back around to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if that'll matter.
Yeah, so let me just finish one more point then. So the front half-ish of the cemetery is upkept. The grass has been mowed. That's usually where some of the newer the graves are there. Of course, the people with the money can afford the nice gravestones. There's a few mausoleums around, so the typical 10 by 10 nice buildings. And yet at the same time, this is a very old cemetery that goes back 200 years at least. And at some point, the woods sort of takes over. And as you go deeper and deeper into the woods, that's where the gravestones start to get older and older, and they're not taken care of. They're, some of them are easily covered by weeds. There's lots of briars and brambles.
Does that mean the woodsy part aren't fenced around?
Well, there's a fence around the entire cemetery. But as you go deeper and deeper in the woods, at some point, the woods it's almost like the fence was there for 200 years. So it's kind of like there's nobody's upkeeping that section of the fence.
Right.
Then I think that might be the part that Jerry knows best. And
nobody's visiting the graves from 1790.
Yeah.
Right.
So can you tell me, does Jerry know a way to approach from the broken down, woodsy back part of the fence that would still allow him to keep the others in sight in their more standard approach?
Well, let's do this. I'll give you 3 options. So you have the main steps going up. You have the side ramp / road, and then you have the other, we'll call it side, that it would be what you're talking about, where there's no clear path. It's wooded. It's, you could enter that way.
Can you see the other 2 paths from the woodsy area?
No, not really, because that's you're telling me that's what you would like to do. But let me ask the other 3, what are your intentions? Because if you're going up the middle path, then yeah, Jerry might have a good chance to see you. But if
Jerry would know that and suggest it.
I'm just assuming that the rod's going to be at the top of the hill. So I assume we're just going to go up the hill. I mean, the cemeteries are usually pretty big.
Yeah, well,
I mean, in that picture, it was half the size of the campus.
Yeah, it's basically a city block. So,
right.
Don't picture it's not like Arlington, huge and spreading. But
right, no. But there's going to be trees, bushes, and gravestones. So
Yep.
I don't know how you could see from one side to the other. And it's on a hill.
Yep.
So what about...
I'm certainly going up the middle way.
The middle?
Well, why don't...
if it looks like the safest way up there, then that's...
Why don't we get... Sorry, there you go.
Well, real quick, I just want to say, he didn't give you any specific location, I'll meet you at X, Y, Z.
I'm just assuming that he meant
the hill.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, go ahead, Danny.
Danny is suggesting, or I'm suggesting that, look, if he's told you to come alone, why don't Tug and I, I'm not sure what Jerry's up to yet, but if we're just skirting either side of the road.
So you go a couple of rows over to the left, and I'll go a couple of rows to the right, and we'll be going up at the same time.
Because it means that we can duck behind some of those stones. If we see Rod first, which is the idea, then we can duck behind a stone and watch what's going on, and I can have my gun ready in case he does anything crazy.
And then, Jerry, you're going to try to go around to the side and come up that way?
Maybe I'll start around to the side. I know a way in through the woods and then toward the back. They don't keep the fence up too well back there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll find out what's going on, guys. Okay, Jasper, we're watching you. We'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
All right, so Jerry probably tries to make a bit of better time now because it's a further way around.
Yeah,
We'll
you're
have to
gonna.
run around
I'm
the
still
block.
trying to be stealthy even at this distance, but Jerry's like in a different, more focused mode now. So hopefully he can get there quickly.
I'll say this. I'm going to say that you don't have. It's not a totally clear view to the other three for you. So, it's not like they're on the complete other side, so you'll be able to catch glimpses of them here and
Right.
there.
That's what I was looking for.
Right, yep.
Is there one I'll be able to see better than the other if they're going up two opposite sides?
You'll be able to see Jasper because he's got a flashlight. We're hiding.
Jasper, do you want to... So I'm gonna picture you guys are like having this conversation pretty much like...
We're almost there.
Almost there, right. Jasper, do you want to enter the cemetery with your flashlight on, or do you want to just go in dark?
I'll go in as far as I can with it dark.
Okay.
But once it becomes clear that I can't see where I'm going, then I'll put the flashlight on.
Okay.
Because he knows I'm coming,
Yes.
so I've got no reason to hide.
Okay. So let me just ask real quick. So facing the cemetery, we'll say Jasper's going up the steps right in the middle. Tug, are you going up to the left of him or to the right of him?
I think that I'll just speak for you, Danny. I hope I'm. But I assume that we both go through the gate. They all go through the gate together, and then I immediately move Gray, over to one side and Danny to the other side, and then we're sneaking up. We're probably 20 feet from Jasper at the moment.
Let's just say you're on the left and I'm on the right for either side of him.
Yeah. We're just not. We're in the shadows, and he's right on the path. So we're ducking from one grave to another as we're going up.
Okay.
So that we can see him clearly.
Yes. I'm sorry, Danny, you just said it and it didn't sink in. You said Tug's on the left and you're on the right?
Left.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys are going to have a little bit of a harder time going up the steeper hill because you're not going up the actual path. No big deal. I'm just pointing it out that it's difficult. Jerry, I'm going to say just so you know, the sort of the ramp, it would be on the far right of the cemetery, and you're going up on the far left onto the wooded section.
Okay.
Just for the sake.
So these guys are all to my right.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just curious. Has anybody here been in a cemetery after dark when you're not supposed to be in a cemetery?
Yeah.
I walk my dog sometimes in the cemetery.
I'm not sure about that last part. Not supposed to be in the cemetery. But
yeah, I'm talking like
I've been there in the dark.
Yeah,
no, I'm a necromancer. I'm always supposed to be in the cemetery. It's just expected.
I know that the cheapest hazard would be tripping over something.
Well, the reason I asked that is because I too have been in a cemetery when I wasn't supposed to be. And there's a certain, it's a balance between, it's a little bit creepy, but then all of a sudden it sort of sinks in and you realize it's really peaceful. It's very
Yeah.
I was, and if we're New England boys, there's cemeteries everywhere. It's like everybody's neighborhood has a cemetery, and you're kind of used to it.
Yeah. There's that little voice that's always nagging in the back of your head that you're doing something wrong because you're not supposed to be there. So you hope you don't get caught. You hope there's not a policeman out on the main road or possibly walking down the street. So there's that element of danger, but it's kind of peaceful.
You also kind of know, too, that if the cops catch you in there and you haven't been doing any damage or vandalism, they're just going to say, go home,
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Well, they can't charge you with a crime other than...
They can charge you for trespassing.
Yeah.
That's
still just a slap on the wrist.
Yep. So Jasper, you're You're feeling a little bit alone at the moment because now, you can't necessarily see the guy. You know they're there. When the cloud passes over the moon, it gets pretty dark, so it's kind of hard to see them. You know they're there, though. But you're aware of the sense that they're not right next to you, so there's a sense of being alone, and you're now walking blind right through the main entrance up into the cemetery.
Oh dear.
It's dark. You hear the crickets are chirping slowly. You get to the top of the hill and you're kind of looking around and it's dark. The graves, it's looking a little on the spooky side. The woods are starting to look a little more menacing than they usually do. And at first you don't necessarily see anything.
You can hear the sound of your heartbeat. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum.
Danny and I can hear the sound of your heartbeat. Jasper, you're so scared.
There was talk of possible thunderstorm later on this evening.
And it's a little bit misty, you said, I think, Jeff, is that right?
Yeah, a little bit of patchy ground fog, like maybe knee high.
I'm like, I wish Jerry were here right now so that I could tell him about ghouls. Uh-oh, we got some thunder.
Oh,
As we're gradually making our way up and kind of peering up, kind of further up the hill, is there any sign of activity or light at the top at all?
No, not really. And the same is sort of going with everybody. You know, you're there together as a group, but at the moment you're all sort of by yourselves. So it's like, a little bit spooky.
So for Jerry, when he gets by himself and is increasingly in the wooded area, sort of a different frame of mind takes over. So even though I'm interested to keep track of where the other guys are when I can see them, I'm also very attentive to the possibility that I could run into somebody else, Rod, anybody else, or anything else also in the woods. So I'm not just focusing on can I keep them in sight and how do I get in the right position quickly. As soon as I'm in the more secluded, obscure area, I'm interested in, what can I detect or discern as I, keep the angle that would allow me to rejoin them if necessary.
Yeah.
Well, they're spread out. Well, they're all still to my right. Of course, I know where Jasper is because I can see the light, so I actually have to pay less attention to him. Because if I see the light go out, of course, I would notice that.
Just to clarify, Jasper, have you put your flashlight on yet or not?
Oh yeah. As soon as I started getting spooked out, I put the flashlight on.
Okay.
Right.
Because I'm thinking, if someone comes at me in the dark, at least I can dazzle them and then hit them with my sock full of quarters. My improvised kosh. I'll probably only get 2 or 3 whacks out of that before the...
And when you say dazzle, do you mean like jazz hands or...
No,
With
the flash right in the eye.
Shine the flashlight in their eyes.
Gotcha.
They'd be blinded for a second.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you guys all to do a stealth roll, except for you, Jasper.
Can we get a
Jazz
can we,
hands.
can we get a bonus?
Sounds like this could be like Shoggoth on the roof, huh?
I got a 91, so apparently I just stepped on a big stick and made a big crackly noise. Shit. It probably Tug goes, sorry.
I feel too.
I had to spend a point of luck to succeed. So perhaps I nearly stepped on a twig, but I checked to be sure my peaches were still there, and because of that hesitation, I did not step on the noisy twig.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, Danny, you kind of you're sort of getting like hunkering down low, trying to get behind one tombstone, and you sort of did like a quick, you're ducked down a little bit. You're trying to get to the next tombstone, and your foot kind of slips in a little bit of a muddy spot.
There's damp leaves.
Well, and people put stuff in there. They put little vases of flowers and coins up on top of the grave sometimes. There's all sorts of ways you can make noise.
Psh, Tug. Psst. That's where they hung Goody the witch up there.
Why is he talking?
Because I failed my role.
I'm going to keep casting my flashlight.
Jasper, are you standing still or are you walking into the cemetery?
I'm walking. I'm not standing still. Someone might sneak up behind me.
Okay.
That makes sense to me at the moment. I mean, it makes no sense logically, but in my sort of heightened state, if I just keep moving, then I feel safer.
Yeah.
Danny is. I'm particularly keeping an eye on Jasper in case he gets attacked because I don't trust this Rod character at all.
Yeah. If somebody comes running up the path behind Jasper, I'm just going to immediately tackle whoever it is.
Okay.
Because they could be stabbing him.
I was formerly playing Rod. This is even more shocking to me now.
All right.
Sanity roll.
Yeah, that's me.
The schizoid man.
It's my alter ego.
Danny, that's a good idea. I won't request it, but is anybody feeling like they need to do a sanity roll? Okay.
I'm just freaking excited.
Sure.
No, I don't feel like I need to do a sanity roll. I feel like I'm definitely at the moment primed for one. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Like anything could set me off at this moment.
Yeah,
not
yet.
Cat. The cat's going to go, wow! We're all going to scream.
Jasper, you have a decision to make. The path on the cemetery, 9 times out of 10, all the paths are always windy. It's not like a straight path right down the middle. It tends to meander and wander. Do you want to stay to the path, or do you want to just start walking in a straight beeline towards what would be considered the center, I guess?
The top of the hill.
I'm gonna stay on the path, sort of as long as the path is heading in the direction that I think I should be going.
Okay. Tug, give me a sense, roughly, how much distance are you keeping between you and Jasper?
Just about 20 feet.
Okay. And how about you, Dan?
Yeah, about the same.
Okay. Jerry, are you, you're kind of well hidden is how I'm picturing it. Are you moving, or are you like, you've gotten a secure spot and you're kind of sticking to that one spot?
I believe I have a secure spot that offers me both a good vantage and a good approach if necessary, and I haven't noticed anything that has attracted my interest or attention. I suppose I'll keep the spot.
Okay.
I think also I'm scanning ahead of Jasper and behind Jasper.
Yeah, me too.
If I see anybody, any movement or anything like that.
Because I have the idea that Rod could have Jasper coming up first and almost follow him or come up behind him.
Right.
So it could be. Yeah, so we're kind of checking behind him as well. Obviously keeping my eye on him mostly. I've got the gun out, by the way, just in case somebody jumps at him or something.
Okay.
And I'm kind of poised and ready to, like I say, run out and tackle somebody if they try to grab Jasper or
Okay.
stick a knife in him.
Jasper. Okay.
Because it seems to me that if they fired a gun, the police would be here pretty quick.
Probably.
There's probably patrols down there looking for people screwing around in the middle of the night with the college campus so close.
One would hope. Or maybe they're at the donut shop on break.
Maybe.
Or maybe they already have wires in their brains, too.
Jasper, I'm going to ask you for a spot hidden.
4.
Whew.
That's an extreme. That's 4 out of 60.
Nice. So your senses are heightened and you're absolutely scanning the whole cemetery looking for something out of place. And it's like a beacon in the middle of the night. You suddenly see a flash of light It's somebody has just struck a match, and that when it first lights, it's super bright, and then it sort of fades down a little bit, and you can see a slight glow and just the faint features of a face. And it's a little bit, maybe about 50, 60, 70 feet ahead of you up. There's a tall gravestone. It looks kind of like a obelisk. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, an obelisk.
There's about a 6 foot tall obelisk that's quite tall and unique.
I'm going to be very wary of anything at this point that's big enough for someone to hide behind and jump out at me. So I'm kind of nervous. But I'm going to sort of slowly and cautiously pick my way towards where this person is.
Okay.
Probably when I get about sort of 15 feet away, 10, 15 feet away, I'm just going to whisper, Rod, is that you?
Okay. Can I
Is
ask?
it obvious from watching him that Jasper has changed direction, or has noticed something, or is going toward a position?
Yeah. So let me ask the rest of the three of you to do a spot hidden, please.
8.
Nice.
Hard pass.
Nice.
Regular pass.
Okay. I'm going to say that Danny and Tug, you noticed the match go off too, so you have a clear, you know where this light source came from. Jerry, you noticed, you didn't see the match light, but you noticed that Jasper seemed to take direct, change course, like you said. So you don't necessarily know what he's walking towards, but he's walking towards something, which is presumably Rod.
Is that, based on my position, does that mean that in order to get to it equally quickly, I would have to start from somewhere other than where I am?
Yeah, in other words, the fact that you didn't see the match light means that there's something blocking your way.
The tombstone.
Right. So
Right.
you're saying I can conclude that what he's walking toward I can't quite see.
Right.
Okay, so based on that first conclusion, can I figure out where I'd have to be positioned to see?
Yeah, sure. You would just have to move,
Well,
15,
I'm
20
gonna.
feet.
Do I have a choice of where to go, or is there only like one way to go to be able to see?
We don't have a map, so there's multiple options. It's just the fact that you would
All
have
right.
to.
Well, I'm going to choose the option that will also allow me to get there as or more quickly if I
Okay.
need to.
So let me ask the three of you this. I'll start with you, Jerry, first. Give me a sense, you don't necessarily know exactly where the obelisk is right now, but you have an idea. Roughly, are you 100 feet away? Are you 50 feet? Are you 300 yards?
Well, how far is Jasper?
Jasper's like within 20 feet.
Then previously, I was far enough from Jasper that I could see him, but probably not hear them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Where I would like to be now, ideally, would be also 20 feet from Jasper and the destination.
Okay, now that's close. That's only like the width of my living room, right? Is that what you want?
But I'd have to approach there from here, wherever here is.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Where are you at right now? Are you?
Well,
20
right
feet
now,
away?
I'm probably more like 100 feet away.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then Tug and Danny, give me just a rough idea. Like I know you were sticking close to Jasper. I'm curious now. I'm trying to figure out, now that you see the match light go off, are you still sticking close to him, or are you now hanging back, or you know what I mean?
Well, if we're 20 feet on either side of him, so we can, when the match light goes off, then we I don't know how to do the math to find out what that tangent is, but
Yep.
I am going to get lower to the ground, move much more slowly, but I'm going to try to work myself around to where I'm equal distance between Jasper over here and the guy right here in case I have to intervene.
Okay.
Between.
I heard all of that, but I didn't hear a distance. Give me a rough idea.
So I probably will end up within, 20 feet of the match light and still remaining 20 feet from Jasper.
Okay. All right.
Whereas I guess the point about Jerry was I would like to be able, ideally, to cover the appropriate 80 feet worth of difference in a stealthy manner that will allow me to see what he may have seen as soon as possible, given all the multiple routes.
Yep.
So I don't know how quickly that could happen if I have to maintain my stealth, but I would maintain the stealth as a first priority.
Okay.
I think my goal is similar to Tug, but to kind of get, if I can, a vantage point to see, maybe hear a little bit of what's being said, but more importantly, get a kind of view of Jasper interacting with the guy, with Rod. Just maybe behind a stone or a tree. I've got the gun ready in case Rod does anything crazy.
Okay.
That makes sense like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So Jasper, you already indicated you're going to start to approach a little bit closer. You're getting pretty close, and you kind of whisper out to him, Rod, is that you?
Rod.
And you hear a response back, and you hear the same sort of rough, whispery voice. He comes back and says, Jasper?
Okay, at this point, I'm going to keep moving towards him at the same speed. And I'm just going to change over my flashlight to my other hand, my left hand. And I'm going to stick my right hand in my pocket where my sock full of loose change is, my kosh. And I'm going to say, yeah, it's me. What the hell's this all about?
And he sort of, in the same sort of whispery voice, it's almost a half, well, I don't know how to word this, but he basically says, put the flashlight out.
I'm just going to sort of drop it down so it's pointing at the ground so I can still sort of see him in the half light.
Okay. How far are you away from him now?
I'd say probably about 8 to 10 feet.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. You're loud whispering. I'm
keeping out of like grabbing distance, basically.
Okay. Yep.
I take it we can't hear what they're saying. We're just hearing the hushed voices, probably.
Yeah.
From our,
Yeah.
I don't know, less than 10 feet. I'm 10 feet away from him, maybe.
Let me ask you, do a listen roll, Danny and Tug. But you're going to have to get a hard or better to actually hear the words.
Okay. I got an 09.
Cool. Okay.
I got a 98.
Okay. That thumping heartbeat is
They compensated for one.
Jasper, could you do another spot hidden for me, please?
Another 4.
Nice. Let's get all these good rolls out of the way.
Loaded dice.
You hear Rod say, "What are you doing? Put the light out. There might be somebody following you. Did you come alone?"
Yeah, you said to come alone, so I came alone. What the hell's going on?
And with that 04, you notice that he's got his varsity jacket on, and he's got a cigarette, so his face is kind of glowing every so often when he inhales. But you notice that he's standing with his hands in his pockets, and the one hand that's in his pocket is sort of, how would you say, pointing at you. If you know what I'm putting down.
Okay. Well, continuing the whispering, we'll just assume that we're continuing the whispering until one of us says otherwise. But I'm just going to kind of like quite naively say, "Is that definitely you?" And then just like sort of shine the flashlight straight in his face, just to make sure it's him.
I assume that I've seen weird stuff happen with the flashlight, right? That it dropped to the ground briefly, and then now he's picking it up again. When it dropped to the ground, however it was pointing, I'm concerned to continue approaching, but from however I think the direction of the flashlight beam on the ground would be most advantageous or least of a problem, right? So, of course, I still want to be stealthy, but I'm now moving, to get closer so that I can see what's happened with the flashlight. Now, obviously, it didn't take long for him to pick it up again. When he picks it up again, I stop and try to see clearly what he's seeing with the flashlight.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to do another stealth roll.
I think as Jasper points the torch right in his face, I kind of take it as a signal that the way that he does it, maybe to try and get a little bit closer, just to move in a little bit.
All right.
There's yeah.
I failed the roll.
Fail? Okay. By a lot? Did you crit fail?
No.
Okay.
I failed by 40, but it's not a crit fail. I rolled a 76.
Okay, no problem. The flashlight comes up to his face. He like his other hand, he like raises his whole jacket / arm, and he kind of to block the light. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Turn that thing off." It's definitely Rod.
Okay, I'm going to turn the flashlight off, but I'm going to do so in such a way that I'm not going to move my. I'm going to stay where I am, and I'm not going to move my arm, my hand. So essentially, still got it pointing at his face. I've just turned it off.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stand there, a good sort of 6 or 7 feet away from him and out of grabbing distance, and just say, "What's this all about? It's the middle of the night, for goodness sake."
I'm not going to make you roll for this, but something out because you got a really good roll last time. When he raised his arm and to block the flashlight, you noticed that hanging from his neck was a pair of binoculars. And Rod, he says, "I told you to come alone."
I did come alone.
Who's with you?
I'm alone. There's no one with me. Look, I'm standing here alone.
And he's still pointing at you through his coat pocket.
Oh, he could see us coming with his binoculars.
Can we see that? No. Can we get a...
And I'm wondering what I can see and what happened when I failed my stealth roll.
It's a hill. He could probably see us when we left the campus. He's on a hill.
Tug and Danny, can you do a spot hidden for me? Let's see if you see the binoculars.
I got an 83. I don't see the binoculars.
Okay.
No.
But I can hear what he's saying, so.
Yes. All right. Danny, you're catching only partial. You're not really making out the words yet. You're not quite sure what's going on. Jerry, you're kind of clueless at the moment. You know they're together in a group there, but you're not quite sure what's going down.
So am I still moving, or have I stopped?
Are you? Do you want to get closer? Or?
Well, so you're saying even but when he picked up his flashlight, pointed it, and then shut it off, I still was never able to figure out what was going on. I couldn't see what he was seeing yet.
Yeah, well, say that you saw Rod in the light, so you
Right.
know it's definitely Rod. But
And
you're
now
not
the light
quite
is
sure-
and now the light's off.
Right, now the light's off, and you're not quite sure why the light keeps going.
Well, now my priority is to as stealthily as I can. And do I know whether I failed my stealth roll before? Was I aware that I wasn't quiet, or was I not aware?
Don't worry about the mechanics.
Then I assume I was not aware. And so, in my continued belief that I'm being stealthy, my intention is to get around behind Rod.
Okay. Give me a sense of how close you want to get.
How close do I think Jasper is now to Rod?
Jasper's about 8 feet away. They're within loud whispering distance.
About between 15 and 20 feet.
Okay. So that would put you all basically within a 20-foot radius.
Right. Exactly.
All right. I'm going to ask for one more stealth roll.
From everybody?
Just from Jerry.
Oh. I think my next move is going to be based on what Rod says next.
Jerry, did you make your roll?
I failed.
Failed.
On 12.
Danny says in a huge loud voice, "The dogs are going wild tonight down in the town."
Was that the code word for get him?
So Rod is still talking to Jasper, and he's like, "Look, I know you're not alone. Just tell me. I just need to know who's here." And he hears a little twig snap behind him, and Rod kind of like flips around and turns around, and he's like now focused in your direction, Jerry.
Do I think he's seen me or just heard me?
You don't know.
Well, I would like to make myself as visibly obscure as I can.
He clearly knows something is there.
Well, okay, well, I want to hide if I can.
Well, look, you told me to come to a goddamn graveyard in the middle of the night. Of course I'm not going to come on my bloody own, am I?
Well,
Damn it, man, I'm not insane.
Who did you bring?
It's just Tugs behind me somewhere.
I'm here, and I put my hands up so that you can see my hands.
And he focuses his direction away from you, Jerry, and back on Tug.
I'm his friend. I just didn't want him to come up here alone. And I rise up from behind the gravestone and start to move.
I don't know who's any good at fighting.
Is Jasper's light still out? Is your torch still out? Is it on?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me.
And
I'm
Jeff,
poised and ready to dazzle if I need to.
When he focuses his attention away from the spot where I was, I want to move to a similar spot that's at least as close, maybe even a bit closer, but that's away from where I am now, because maybe he won't know that I'm somewhere else.
Okay.
Also, do I hear Tug say, "Just don't shoot me"?
I say I don't have much of a whisper, so
So we're assuming
I
hear that.
I do a stage whisper. Don't shoot us. Don't shoot me.
Okay, so when I hear that, I assume he has a gun. So when I'm able to, in the course of being stealthy, pull a knife, I want to have a knife ready.
Okay. What is your stealth roll? Stat.
Again, or just a stat?
Yeah, just tell me your stat number.
36.
I'm going to roll for you. Because now
That's great. Yeah.
you might think you're stealthy. But...
Right. That'll be more fun. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you make your way around to a slightly different location. Danny, what are you doing?
Because Tug's making a noise and effectively you coming out, Tug, you're kind of revealing yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I move up, another 4 or 5 yards. I don't know if Jasper wants me to say we're here. I realise Tug's doing that, but I'm the only one with a pistol, so I think I stay hidden. But I'm just, because he's making a noise and he's speaking out loud, I kind of use that as an opportunity to maybe shift up another 2 gravestones, you know?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to do the same then. What's your stealth, Danny?
It's 30.
Jeff, it also now just occurred to Jerry, it was in the back of my mind before, but I'm sure now Jerry thinks of it. Why exactly would whoever appears to be Rod also be here alone? Are there not other people like us who are keeping a lookout? So Jerry maybe is, again, trying to be more attentive to, are there other people in other positions covering us with guns? It really came to him when Tug said, don't shoot me. Now Jerry's thinking, okay, well, Rod must have a gun, or Tug wouldn't have said that. But where are all the other people with guns like me hiding in the woods when I wish I had a gun in the woods?
Yeah, we could all be surrounded, but yeah.
So
Tug hasn't thought that yet.
Right. So if I can notice anything.
In fact, Tom didn't think that yet until just now.
I think Jerry should make a sanity roll, and if he fails, he runs down the hill screaming, thinking we're surrounded.
Jerry, do another spot hidden for me then.
Nope.
Okay. And because of that, I'm going to ask you to do a sanity roll. And if you fail your sanity, just take 1 point, because you're kind of like, now you're starting to get a little weirded out. You know, maybe you're surrounded, and the fact that you don't see anything is almost more troubling to you.
Sorry, George, didn't mean that.
This could be one of those things where
extreme pass on the sanity.
Okay, so no points, but you're just, you're
probably because that seems so rational to Jerry.
Yeah. Right. So Jasper, sorry, there's a lot going on. I don't mean to keep cutting away, but so Jasper, Rod's sort of questioning, why did you bring all these people when I told you to come along? You make clearly a good point. Why would I come alone?
And by now I've moved over to, I'm right next to Jasper.
Okay.
And kind of in between. I mean, I want Jasper to be protected because I'm protective.
Okay. You see that the...
Can I just say, I mean, did we make it... Did I make it abundantly clear before we came up that I was going to try and use the flashlight to dazzle him? If it came to it, that we all knew I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just making sure that.
Yeah. Do you have any what's called interpersonal skills? Persuade, charm, intimidate.
No. Oh, sorry. The character.
I think it's called brawl. Punch him.
I've got brawl in the form of pugilism, scientific pugilism. Let's have a look. Charm. Intimidate. Oh yes, fast talk.
Okay. I'm going to use that as a skill. Go ahead and roll fast talk. I don't think you're necessarily doing fast talk. It's more almost a persuade roll, but I'm just going to use that number for your skill.
That's 32. That's a standard pass. It's just short of a hard pass.
Okay. So, you say, of course I'm not going to come up here alone. And the same thought now occurs to Rod, like, well, yeah, that was kind of a stupid request. So his leather jacket, he kind of is now standing at normal, hands in his pockets, down at his waist. He's like, well, look, I don't know. He says, you might as well tell your other buddies to come out. I mean, they're not fooling anybody.
Oh, okay. It's just Jerry. Jerry, the game's up. You can come out.
Jerry doesn't move.
Jerry, dude, come out.
I'm going to turn to Tug and say, I told you he was going to run. I told you he would.
And then the Rod says, well, what about the other one? The one who's over there. And he points in Danny's general direction.
Dad, can I see this or hear this? I guess.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Rod, we don't know what you...
Why don't you? I mean, look, if you want us to calm down and trust you, why don't you tell us why you've called me out here?
I put my pistol in my pocket and do the kind of routine of, the gun in the pocket thing and just come out. I just walk up. I realise, he knows we're here.
Okay.
With your fedora slouched down over you.
Yeah.
But Jerry, you're going to remain hidden?
Yeah. Hey.
Hidden but extremely noisy.
All right. So Rod turns to you again, Jasper, and he's like, look, I'm sorry. He says, I'm on edge. I don't know who to trust either. And I just need to know that you weren't followed. So that's why I'm trying to get a head count as to who did you bring.
Well, there was me and Tug, Danny and Jerry, but I guess Jerry's run off. He wasn't too happy about coming up here. Well, he wasn't too happy about coming out in the middle of the night,
What's going on, Rod? What's this all about?
Yeah, why don't you just level with us and tell us what's going on? Why all the theatrics?
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. And he looks really torn.
Can I hear any of this from where I am hiding?
Do a listen roll.
Look, dude. We're all here to protect Jasper because weird shit's been going on and we don't know what the fuck's going on. Are you part of it?
Well, I was. And that's kind of why I asked you guys to come here tonight, is because I'm done with it. I'm done with it all. And I don't want to see anybody else get hurt.
Hurt?
Yeah.
Look, just what the hell is going on?
Yeah. He's hesitating. He's kind of like, he's looking around still. He's on edge, obviously. He's like, I don't even know where to start. All right, look.
What happened that night when we were in Cobb's Corner?
Right. So I'm just going to be upfront with you all, and I'm just going to hope that you believe me. And yet, at the same time, if you don't believe me, I would totally understand, because I wouldn't believe me either. I'm not Tug. I'm sorry, I'm not Rod.
I know you're not Tug.
I'm not Rod.
You're not Rod.
My name is Keith Clark.
The guy from the newspaper. What do you mean you're Keith Clark? Come on.
The guy that was missing or dead.
You guys know about the newspaper?
Well, we've been kind of watching you guys because you're all acting really strange.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yep. Well, I think then if you're aware of that fact, you might know then that none of us who you went on that trip with are who we say we are, or who you think we are.
Jerry, you were right.
I know it.
Does Tug really say that?
I do.
All right.
What's going on?
Then as soon as Tug says that, but I know he has a gun, but I know he hasn't shot anybody yet. Okay, so without revealing my position in a way that I could be easily shot, I call out and say, I'll be approaching then. Don't shoot me either.
Yeah.
And I approach at a non-threatening pace.
Okay.
But I don't put the knife away.
So what do you mean you're Keith? How can you be Keith? How's that happened?
That loud sigh comes from him, and he's like, look, I don't know how else to put this, but do you believe in aliens?
Is that what I was right about then?
You said demons, dude.
I believe in demons. We shot demons
I
up
said
it.
beings from other dimensions, which includes what people have thought to be demons. So would that be you then? And I just look at Rod. Well, not Rod, right? Would that be you then?
Are you from another dimension?
Me? No.
Is this something to do with everyone getting snatched up into the air that night?
Yes.
I knew it. I told you. I knew it.
Wait a second. Even I can do the math, dude. You're not old enough to have had a wife and kids 9 years ago.
Right.
You're Keith Clark then.
You're
But
not, as
how
dumb
can
as
you
you,
be Keith?
you're not as dumb as you look there, Tug.
So you're not Keith Clark. Who are you?
I am Keith Clark in Rod's body.
Well, where is Rod?
Well, I was very sorry to read about your family. I assumed that you didn't know until you read the paper.
Dude, this guy's a body snatcher.
But why did you want me to come up here? What's this all about?
Well, because that's what...
Because the other guys would kill him, Jasper. That's why.
So why? I mean, what? So who are the other people then?
They killed your family. Is that why you're pissed off?
Exactly. Yes.
Because that's what the article said, and you were pissed off.
I want nothing to do with those creatures.
What are they?
They betrayed me 100%. They told me that if I gave up, they would leave my family alone, and they lied.
So why did they want you?
That's why Higgins has a German accent sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So what are they, like the Black Brothers?
He looks at you a little confused. He's like, I'm not.
You know, like black, demonic sorcerers, demonic beings, that kind of thing. Enemies of humanity.
He's talking about the creatures that were up on the roof that night on the cabin, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit confused. But he's like, yeah, he says, I mean, it's not. He says the only thing I can ask you to believe they're aliens. They're not from here.
So,
where are they from?
Where is Higgins?
You know where they're from?
He doesn't know how to answer you.
What happened? Where is Higgins? Where is Rod? If you've got his body.
I don't know for certain, but if I were you, I would assume that they are no longer with us.
Well, what is it that these beings want?
And he we're
Hot young bodies.
It sounds stupid. We're basically their lab experiment to them. They're studying us.
Was John Jeffrey part of that?
Yes, I remember hearing them talking about that name. Yes.
What are they trying to learn by their experiment?
Now, mind you, they haven't told me everything. These are things that I've sort of picked up from overhearing them. You know, they've told me some things, but maybe they're lying to me. So I don't know if I can give you a good sense of what their motives are and why they're doing such and such and how they do it. I can just tell you what my limited experience is. So just kind of like take that for what it's worth.
All right.
I just did a sanity roll and failed.
Okay.
So did I and passed. So what's happening with all the other guys back at the science lab? They're going on about that stone, and they're telling the professor. We think they're lying to the professor that it's a meteorite. What's happening?
How about Jasper and Jerry? Can you do a sanity roll? I'll say 1 for a pass and a D4 for a fail.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting a wee bit agitated, I would think.
Failed.
3.
I passed.
I'm extremely disturbed at the moment.
Look, Danny, gentlemen, why don't you let the man tell us what he knows in an orderly fashion in his own way? I'm sure that his perspective is by now rather alien to ours.
So are you an alien?
No, not me. I'm. All right. Here's.
You were their experiment.
I was their experiment.
How did you get into Rod's body?
They experiment on us. They're
wires in your brain.
Well, and you can tell this is like not easy for him because he's just waiting for you guys to like start laughing and walk away. But you're still there, so he's taking that as a good sign. And he says, I don't know how they do it. It makes no sense at all. But they have the capability that they can remove a human being's brain and keep it alive.
Oh my God, dude,
that's gross.
And then in our situation, what happened here is they can then do a transplant.
So it's all physical? Your brain is inside of this body?
Correct.
Whoa. Well, listen, I don't know, this is pretty disgusting, but we could protect you from the other guys if you think that they're going to find out. But what are they doing? They're up to something. You need to help us because...
the others, are they humans as well? Or are the other student bodies, are the aliens inside of them?
What about Clarissa?
So you know her as Clarissa. I know him as Wesley Smith.
So are all of the others humans who are part of the experiment?
Yes.
And do they know what the goal is? What is it you all are supposed to do?
We have been sent. Could everybody do a listen roll?
18.
Is that a hard or a critical?
I've only got 20 in listen, so.
Normal pass for me as well.
That doesn't
Got
seem
11 out of 40, so that's hard.
Hard, okay.
A regular pass.
Regular. Jasper, you hear something to the right of you, not too far away, like a twig snap.
Just instinctively, I'm just going to press the button on my flashlight and shine it at the noise because I'm just completely on edge. And I've just lost 3 sanity, so I'm definitely on edge.
Okay. You don't see anything in the light. And of course, now everybody standing around you is somewhat blinded. even though you didn't shine it in their eyes, but now all of a sudden there's a sudden bright light source. It only lasts for a second.
I'm going to quickly turn it off again and say sorry.
I put my hand on Rod, Stroke, whatever his name is, and say, "Get down." Maybe we should get out of here, guys.
When this happens, I'm thinking maybe if Jerry has experience out hunting things, he would know not to look right into the light, but maybe be able to know like at what angle to look to see if something's over there. Can I try to look? Or is it not possible because it all just happened too quick?
I think that was part of the spot hidden that I was asking for, or the listen.
I'm trying to visually see it.
Right. All right. Do a spot hidden then.
Guys, let's get down.
I'm glad I asked. A solid 95.
Okay.
And yeah, when he says get down, of course I get down.
And Rod's
Unless I've already been.
Yeah. Rod turns to you, Dan. Well, what did you say? Did you say you grabbed his throat?
No. I just put my hand on him, kind of like get down, because I'm thinking of something approaching.
Interesting.
Like on his shoulder or something like that.
You're being protective of Rod so that he's...
Yeah, I'm kind of wanting him to know that we're looking after him just now, but I hope his head doesn't fall over and the brain doesn't fall out or anything like that.
Well, I have a jar.
His mind. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your mind.
Well, see, your intentions were good, and of course you explained them to me, and I know that. But Rod/Keith didn't know that, so you actually startled him quite a bit. He wasn't expecting you to reach for him.
Mm-hmm.
He suddenly raises his jacket towards you. He's like, "What? What is it?"
There's somebody over there.
By this point, I've gotten down.
I mean, Jasper's standing with the torch light, shaking a bit. He's a bit shaking.
Yeah.
And the light's over there, so there's somebody there maybe.
And I'm like, dude, don't shoot us.
Who else did you bring?
Nobody else.
Nobody.
Oh, there's just us four.
Keith, get down. Get down here. Maybe we were followed.
I think we should move away from here.
We don't trust anybody else.
I say to him, I try to reassure him, look, we'll protect you, but we've got to be careful.
Yeah, look, you're messing with people these people are dangerous. Don't underestimate them. They might look like your friends. They're not. Some of them are hundreds of years old. They're not even of this era.
What are they trying to do?
The main thing is there's two things. The first thing is they're trying to gather evidence of what you would call folklores, ghost stories, things like that. They're trying to gather the evidence of people who have seen the aliens. They want to eliminate.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, they want to eliminate all mention of what could be construed as them. They're trying to cover their tracks.
Are they the mole men?
And he looks at you like totally confused.
No, Tug, no, it's not mole men. That's something else.
Why are they hiding? Do you know why?
Why is who hiding?
What the aliens? Why do they want to cover their tracks?
They don't want anybody to know they're there.
And they're killing people and putting other people in their brains.
So that's not their.
They're going to kill us.
Goal, then. It's not their goal. Then they're hiding their tracks to cover their goal. Do you know what the real goal is?
He's struggling, and he's like, we're experiments to them. We're just ants in a glass jar to them.
Well, you said there were two things. What's the other thing?
Jasper, can you do another spot hidden?
Shit.
19. Bloody hell, this is my night tonight.
Okay. Rod starts to tell you. Sorry, what did you ask, Tug? How did you phrase that?
I said that you said there were two things. What's the other thing that they're trying to do?
This whole bit with the science lab, and he gets that far, and Jasper, you look over. Remember how he said there were like patches of fog? You look over to where you thought you heard something just a second ago with your light, and there's a patch of fog there, and I don't know how to describe it. It's the fog's moving in a way that is not coinciding with the slight breeze in the wind.
Like a ghost.
I'm going to point to it and just go, what the hell is that?
Right. And with that, suddenly, I mean, like in the blink of an eye, there's a person standing there. And
Like he just stepped out of the fog or materialized?
like materialized, like instantly just appeared.
Is it Goody Fowler?
Mm-hmm.
What
No.
does it look like, Jeff? Can we see what he looks like?
I'm going to ask you to roll. I mean, I'm looking for a hard success because it's like an
On
instantaneous
what?
spot hidden.
Yeah, I didn't pass.
Neither did I. I rolled a 93.
Too dark.
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous now. I just rolled a 7.
Okay, nice.
I failed.
I want your dice.
This is crazy. This is because I'm rolling them on this book. That's what's going on. I'm rolling
What
them
book
on
is it? We need a copy. Which?
Right. So the three of you, it all happens like a blink of an eye, and for a second, it's just that moment of, wait, what? What just happened? So you don't. It doesn't even register that who it is. It's just the fact that this just happened. So first, I'm going to ask everybody to do a sanity.
I passed.
Okay.
Pass.
Just a little
My,
startled.
my roll of fantastic dice rolls has ceased. I've just rolled 94.
Ooh. I'm going to do the
Well,
same thing.
I finally failed a sanity check.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ask for 1 for a pass and a D4 for a fail.
I am getting lower and lower.
And in that moment, Jasper, you do the register. You recognize him. You recognize him as Terrence Laszlo, one of the other students. But really, almost like before anybody can even react beyond the stunning what just happened, Lazo just now starts talking to Rod. And he's like, you've said enough. Everybody step away. Keep your hands where I can see them. Nobody do anything stupid. And he's holding a gun.
Right.
A regular gun?
Well, no. Funny you should say that.
I'm going to try and shoot him out of my pocket.
And
I'm going to shine the light in his eyes.
And I'm instinctively stepping in between him and Rod. Because it's what I do.
And I just do what he said.
So
But
you're the smart one of the group, it seems.
But I don't know that all this crazy stuff is going to happen, so I start talking. So should I talk or should I not talk? Because you're going to have us roll initiative or something.
Before I pull a trigger, what is Rod's response? Is he calm or is he threatened looking? You know, does he look threatened?
So yeah, so like this is all like blink of an eye. This is all happening.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah, in that split second,
Just glance.
you see panic cross Rod's eyes.
Okay. You don't need to shoot us.
All right, let's see. I wasn't expecting that, Danny. Okay. I'm going to ask you for your firearms shot, but I'm going to put a penalty die on it.
It's dark.
It's dark. You totally weren't expecting that to happen. You weren't aiming, so it's like it's more of a gut reaction than it is a controlled shot.
I mean, I'm not trying to blow his head off. I think I would be going for, I'm going to try and wound him because it looks like he's about to shoot us, But here goes. Okay, first one was a 14, which is a pass. And the second one is a 22, which is also a pass.
Ooh, nice.
In fact, hard pass.
Okay. Can you roll damage for me?
Can I, especially with the reasonable roll, can I do that? Can I maybe go for his legs or something like that? I'm not trying to, blow him to smithereens because the damage is pretty bad on this.
Yeah. Maybe you should have thought of that before you pulled the trigger.
Yeah, maybe I should have.
So your hand was in your pocket, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's 7 points of damage.
Ouch.
And when the gun goes off, I'm going to kind of fall on Rod and pull him to the ground.
And as soon as the gun goes off, since Jerry was already trying to talk to him and was holding his hands up, but never dropped the knife, Jerry rushes him with the intention to either disarm him or bring him to the ground or do anything other than stand there and be shot if he's still capable of shooting back. Right?
Well, I also, the other question is does his gun go off simultaneously too, Danny?
Right. Yeah, this may all be quite academic for Jerry, but it's worth knowing what I would do if I'm still standing.
So, Danny, you think you've hit him in the leg. You definitely hit him because he let out a yell, a scream. So he's yelling in pain and agony. And he's like, "What did you do?" And Jerry, you're running to you're running to constrain him, to tackle him?
Well, now that I know what's happened, can I tell he's been shot in the leg? What do I actually see happen?
Well, you just had the gun go off and you heard him again.
Okay, so I don't know anything. So I'm trying to rush him to catch him off balance and either disarm him or tackle him, whichever's easier.
You could always stab him to death if you want.
Well, it might come to that, but I'm hoping it doesn't.
Time is ticking as far as the police getting here in about 15. The guns have gone off. People are woken up downtown.
Good point. All right, let me just check one thing here. Oh boy. Okay. Jerry, I'm going to ask you to do a brawl. So it sounds like you're trying to tackle him.
I guess a main goal would be to. I want to disarm him if I can, but if it's safer to somehow bring him down and restrain him so he can't shoot me, that's better. So brawl, I think brawl covers it.
Is he still standing, Jeff? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just see what he gets for his roll first.
Cool.
Let's see. 6 points of luck later, I pass.
Okay.
Assuming I'm allowed to spend 6 points of luck on this.
Yeah, I was got that rule wrong. You can spend it for an attack roll. You can't spend it for damage, but you can spend it for an attack.
Right.
Yeah. So you rush him. At the same, this is all happening like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So the gunshot goes off. He yells. He starts to like fall to the side a little bit. He's starting to go down. And in that split second, he's also been blinded by the flashlight. You tackle him. You grapple him. You also suddenly feel a tremendous amount of pain in your abdomen.
Those peaches were definitely off.
Is this like... Yeah, I'm sure I'm shocked and cry out in pain.
I'm going to ask you to make a Constitution roll.
Have you told us why he feels pain? Did he get shot or something?
I haven't told you yet.
You haven't told us yet. Okay. I thought maybe I missed something.
I fail.
Okay. Jerry, you feel a tremendous amount of pain, and you suddenly just collapse on the ground, and you're currently unconscious.
You say that like you're not certain I'm unconscious. Am I certain I'm How can I be certain if I'm unconscious? If I'm unconscious, does that mean I'm conscious of being unconscious? Do I have to make a sanity check now too? I think I need to make a sanity check.
All right. Tug. So since you're asking about it, I'm going to say you're kind of like aware of this. You were kind of expecting to hear a gunshot. You didn't. You heard what sounded like a bolt of electricity. Like a zap.
They've got spray guns.
Well, I'm on top of Rod. What's he doing?
Is Rod saying anything?
We're both flat on the ground.
Yeah. Okay. He's yelling at you. He's like, get off me. Get off me. I can't get to my gun.
All right, so I roll off of him.
Okay. And he looks at you all. Well, maybe not you, Jerry, because you're on the ground. But he looks at the rest of you, and he just kind of like, in a split second, gets eye contact with all three of you, and he's like, run. And I think we'll end it there.
Okay, cool.
Not that I want to. I'd rather keep going. But.
We need to have Ken make this all into a movie. All right. Our players included Mick Swan, George Sieg, Ken Trench, myself, with Jeff Wilkins as Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.